Jai, ISKCON Ljubljana, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Dhanam Vishnupad Paramahams Prabhupada Asadhara Siddhi Srimad is Divine Grace of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridasa Thakur ki Jai, Shri Rupa Sanatana Madhurana Shri Jeev Gopala Dasragana Shri Goswami Prabhu ki Jai, Premto Shri Krishna Chaitanya Pranityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakan Radhakan Giri Govindan ki Jai, Matharadam ki Jai, Vijayamagam ki Jai, Mayapurdam ki Jai, Namritam ki Jai, Nirnathpurdam ki Jai, Ayodhidam ki Jai, ISKCON Ljubljana ki Jai, Gandamayan ki Jai, Gandamayan ki Jai, Srimati Bhakti Devi ki Jai, Srimati Tulsi Devi ki Jai, Shri Panchatattva ki Jai, Shri Shri Gaura ki Jai, Gaur Brahmanande, Slava Sabrani Bhagavad, Slava Sabrani Bhagavad, Slava Sabrani Bhagavad, Slava Shri Guru, Shri Grangi.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Kopi Jana Ballabha Girivanadari Kopi Jana Ballabha Girivanadari Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Kiha Vanachari Yamuna Kiha Vanacharya Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Kopi Jana Ballabha Girivanadari Kopi Jana Ballabha Girivanadari Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Kiha Vanachari Yamuna Kiha Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Vishnupad Paramhansa Brahmadakacharya Asadhara Satushi Shiman His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Gaur Premanande Haribol Slava Zavrani Bhaktam Slava Shri Guru Shri Gaurangi Om Agyanatvidandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chaksuramilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Pandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vidham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Vrajana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shiva Sakans Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karna Sindho Dinabandho Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchina Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prashubhanu Sudha Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakapa Dhruvyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patidanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Pranitinanda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1, Chapter 8, Prayers by Queen Kunti, text number 31. Is that right? 31. Is this the Chintamani prayers? Gopya de Twai Kritagasi Dhamma Tava. No, it's not. Gopya de Twai Kritagasi Dhamma Tavad. Yate Dashastru Kalilanjana Sambramaksham Vaktram Niniya Bhaya Bhavanaya Stitasya Samam Vimohayati Bir Api Bibeti Gopya de Twai Kritagasi Dhamma Tava Yate Dashastru Kalilanga Jana Sampramaksham Vaktram Niniya Bhaya Bhavanaya Stitasya Samam Vimohyati Bir Api Yad Bibeti Bhaktam namiya bhaya bhavanaya sitasya samam vimohyati vir apiyad viveti Gopyadaye tvai kritasti damatayadvad Ye te dashastru kalilanjana sambramaksham Bhaktram naniya bhaya bhavanaya sitasya Samam vimohyati bir apiyad bhaveti. Mataji. Tasya damatavad Ate dashastru krita ranjana sambramaksham Bhaktam naniya bhayad bhavanaya sitasya Samam vimohyati vir apiyad viveti Gopi. The cowherd lady Jashoda Adide took up Twayi on your Kritagasi, creating disturbances by breaking the butter pot. Dhamma, rope. Tavat, at that time. Ya, that which. Te, your. Dasha, situation. Ashukalila, overflooded with tears. Anjana, ointment. Sambrama, perturbed. Aksham, eyes. Vaktram, face. Niniya, downwards. Vaya, bhavanaha, bhavanaya, by thoughts of fear. Stitasya, of the situation. Sa, that. Mam, me. Vimohyati, bewilders. Api, even fear personified. Yat, whom. Pibeti, is afraid. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. My dear Krishna, Jasoda took up a rope to bind you when you committed an offense, and your perturbed eyes overflooded with tears, which washed the mascara from your eyes. You were afraid, although fear personified is afraid of you. This sight is bewildering to me. Please repeat. My dear Krishna, Jasoda took up a rope to bind you when you committed an offense, and your perturbed eyes overflooded with tears, which washed the mascara from your eyes, and you were afraid, although fear personified is afraid of you. This sight is bewildering to me. Purport. Here's another explanation of the bewilderment created by the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is the Supreme in all circumstances, as already explained. Here is a specific example of the Lord's being the Supreme, and at the same time a plaything in the presence of His pure devotee. The Lord's pure devotee renders service unto the Lord out of unalloyed love only, and while discharging such devotional service, the pure devotee forgets the position of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord also accepts the loving service of his devotees more relishfully than the service is rendered spontaneously. When the service is rendered spontaneously. Out of pure affection, without anything of reverential admiration. Generally, the Lord is worshipped by his devotees in a reverential attitude. But the Lord is meticulously pleased when the devotee, out of pure affection and love, considers the Lord to be less important than himself. The Lord, in his original abode, in the original abode of Goloka, Vrindavan, are exchanged in that spirit. The friends of Krishna consider him one of them. They do not consider him to be of reverential importance. The parents of the Lord, who are all pure devotees, consider him a child only. The Lord accepts the chastisement of the parents more cheerfully than the prayers of the Vedic hymns. Similarly, he accepts the reproaches of his fiancés more palatably than the Vedic hymns. When Lord Krishna is present in this material world and manifests, when Lord Krishna is present in this material world to manifest his eternal pastimes of the transcendental realm of Goloka, Vrindavan, as an attraction for the people in general, he displayed a unique picture of subordination before his foster mother, Jashoda. The Lord, in his naturally childish, playful activities, used to spoil the stock butter of Mother Jashoda by breaking the pots and distributing the contents to his friends and playmates, including the celebrated monkeys of Vrindavan, who took advantage of the Lord's munificence. Mother Jashoda saw this, and out of her pure love, she wanted to make a show of punishment. For her transcendental child, she took a rope and threatened the Lord that she would tie him up, as is generally done in the ordinary household. Seeing the rope in the hands of Mother Jashoda, the Lord bowed down his head and began to weep, just like a child, and tears rolled down his cheeks, washing off the black ornament smeared about his beautiful eyes. The picture of the Lord is adored by Kunti Devi because she is conscious of the Lord's supreme position. She is feared even by fear personified, yet he is afraid of his mother, who wanted to punish him just in an ordinary manner. Kunti was conscious of the exalted position of Krishna, whereas Jashoda was not. Therefore, Jashoda's position was more exalted than Kunti's. Mother Jashoda got the Lord as a child, and the Lord made her forget altogether that her child was the Lord himself. If Mother Jashoda had been conscious of the exalted position of the Lord, she would certainly have hesitated to punish the Lord. But she was made to forget this situation because the Lord wanted to make a complete gesture of childishness before the affectionate Jashoda. This exchange of love between the mother and the son was performed in a natural way, and Kunti remembered the scene, was bewildered, and she could do nothing but praise the transcendental philia, love. Indirectly, Mother Jashoda's praise for her unique position of love, because she can control even the all-powerful Lord as her beloved child. My dear Krishna, Jashoda took up a rope to bind you when you committed an offense, and your perturbed eyes overflooded with tears, which washed the mascara from your eyes, and you were afraid, although fear personified is afraid of you. This sight is bewildering to me. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Vicharane Nirvishesha Srinivadi Bhaskyadyade Siddharane. there are different types of emotions which are present in the spiritual world, of which the emotions here are just perverted reflections. But the one emotion that doesn't exist in the spiritual world is material envy. That all the devotees there, they appreciate the activities of all the other devotees. And here Kunti Devi is appreciating another devotee in maternal affection, but she's appreciating that actually her love for Krishna is greater than her love for Krishna. She's not envious of Mother Yasoda's love for Krishna, but it's a source of inspiration for her, how she can love Krishna more, how she can appreciate, by appreciating the devotees who love Krishna, then one's own love for Krishna increases. That's the only way we can increase our love for Krishna, practically speaking, is by appreciating those who love Krishna more than we do. And there's no limit to how much one can love Krishna. It is not that there's only a certain amount of love to go around, and that if someone gets love for Krishna, then I get less love for Krishna. So there's no limit to how much we can love Krishna and appreciate him, and there's no limit to how much we can appreciate the devotees who are appreciating the other devotees. It says in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna that because of the affection and love that Srimati Radharani has for Krishna, she experiences thousands or millions of times more ecstasy than Krishna experiences, than Krishna experiences. And therefore, for that reason, Krishna comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to experience Srimati Radharani's love for him. Krishna, according to the Brahma Samhita, has a Chintya Guna Swarupam. He has unlimited wonderful qualities. And his love and affection is also unlimited. But Srimati Radharani is the one who can actually experience, to the greatest extent, Krishna's unlimited love and qualities. Therefore, Krishna can't compete with Srimati Radharani, and therefore Srimati Radharani is considered his prem guru. Krishna learns from her how to love. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to experience the unlimited good qualities of Krishna. As Krishna himself, he can't experience his own qualities, unlimited qualities, the same way, to the same level of appreciation that Srimati Radharani can. After all, just like we may love ourselves, as a matter of fact, everyone loves themselves. Even people who commit suicide, it's out of love for the soul. Somehow or another, they want another situation for themselves. Therefore, everyone has love for themselves, but if we can find someone who has appreciation for for ourselves would be nice, but even for this body, then we find out through them what good qualities we might have, better than we can figure out our own good qualities. Or even our good qualities are only manifested in relationship to others. We may be kind to ourselves, but it's very limited how kind we can be to ourselves. But people are not really satisfied just being kind to themselves. Ultimately, they want a relationship where they can experience kindness. If you sit there and meditate, I want to be kind to myself, there's not much we can do. But if you even have a dog, and you're kind to the dog, then you feel some love coming from yourself. And that's much more love than we can just sit there and I love myself, love, myself. No, we feel love and affection, even for an animal, we feel more love than we normally do. So similarly, when Srimati Radharani feels Krishna's good qualities, experiences them, she experiences his good qualities, his unlimited good qualities, even more than Krishna does. And when she experiences Krishna's love for her, she experiences it even more intensely than Krishna experiences the love that he has for Srimati Radharani. And when Srimati Radharani experiences her own love for Krishna, realizing how wonderful he is, she gets unlimited pleasure, more than even the pleasure Krishna gets from experiencing his love for Srimati Radharani. Therefore, he comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in order to understand what the absolute position of love is. But all the devotees, every soul has a propensity either in a proper way or in a perverted way. Everyone is trying to figure out what their good qualities are and appreciate them. That's the soul. He's in a body made out of the material nature, or maybe even the spiritual nature. Depends on his activities. But he's trying to figure out what his good qualities are. And he's trying to appreciate them. And he's trying to experience the reciprocation of the body for his good activities, for his service. But obviously it's quite limited what you can do with a dead body, how much you can appreciate it, how much love it's going to give back to you in terms of sense gratification, and how many good qualities does it really have compared to what it would actually take to make anything better in this world. Therefore, unless we find the objects of attraction to realize our love, because everyone's trying to realize their love. Otherwise, why do people buy a dog or a cat or even a fish in an aquarium? And then they imagine that when the fish swims close to the glass, that actually they're attracted to me. There's some relationship with the fish, purely out of imagination, usually, unless it's Matsya. Therefore, if we have affection for Krishna, if we appreciate his good qualities, if we appreciate the love he has for us, and if we appreciate our happiness in becoming conscious of Krishna, but that's multiplied by experiencing the love that Krishna's devotees have for Krishna, and the unlimited good qualities that they realize in their relation with Krishna, and the amount of love that they have for Krishna that stimulates our love for Krishna, encourages our love for Krishna. So in the association, satam prasangam amavirya samvido bhavanti rikarna rasayanam kata tajjo shvarashva vargavartmani shararatir bhakti anukramishati. It's actually in the association of devotees that we can develop our appreciation for Krishna, we can experience his love, and we can experience our own love for Krishna. We need some impetus, we need some experience in the association of devotees, some encouragement to actually stimulate our own love. Otherwise, we're all by ourselves. We generally we won't make very much of it all practice. Of course, we can read Prabhupada's books, but to learn how to read Prabhupada's books and take advantage of it, we also have to learn from the devotees, from their experience, and from their knowledge. Of course, if we're rendering devotional service to Krishna, according to how uninterrupted it is, and how much it's enthusiastic or careful, then Krishna dadami buddhi yogatam. He can also enlighten us, but he'll enlighten us to take shelter of an example such as in the Bhagavatam, such as here we have Mother Jasoda. We're not supposed to just read the Bhagavatam as some kind of exercise in learning how to read English. Sometimes the devotees learn how to read English by reading Prabhupada's books. That's good, better than reading some other book. But the idea is to actually experience something when we're reading, not just to read. Otherwise, we think that these are just ordinary books. If we just read them, as if they're just another book to read. And I feel good when I read them because I feel like I'm supposed to do it. If I don't do it, I'll get into trouble. Better reading a book than reading this book than reading a comic book. So I'll read this book. No, we actually should be actively reading, which means that, again, unless we remember what we read, then it's just as good as not reading it. If we eat this big meal like this much, and we pass this much stool, what have we gained? We have to assimilate something. It's what we assimilate that actually counts. It's not what we eat that's important for our health, it's what we can assimilate from the food that we eat. Sometimes it's good not to assimilate things that are not good to eat, just like the mafia was killing people by giving them poison apple pies. People were dying from the pie, but one man, he had such a poor digestion that he couldn't digest any of the apple pie, so he survived. So we should not digest materialistic sound vibrations. We should digest spiritual ones. And here we have Mother Jasoda, Kunti Devi, remembering Mother Jasoda. So we should not forget that Gopi Bharata Pada Kamalayora, Dasa Dasa Anudasa. Our business is become the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. Just like when we read Krishna book, it is not simply we're hearing about Krishna walking in the bank of the Jamuna, as one of my favorite pastimes. When Krishna was seen walking in the bank of the Jamuna, he was seen nicely decorated with tilak on his forehead. And his garland with different types of forest flowers and tulsi leaves. His body was smeared with the sandalwood pulp and tulsi leaves. The bumblebees became mad after the treasure and the sweetness of the atmosphere. And being pleased by the humming sound of the bees, Krishna began to play upon his flute. And the combined sounds became so sweet to hear that the aquatic birds, like the ducks, the swans, the cranes, they stopped swimming and flying, and then they closed their eyes and entered into a trance of meditation and worship of Krishna. So we can remember this. That's very nice, and we hear it. But even better than that is to remember who's speaking, and try to feel the same mood that they're speaking, what they're feeling when they're speaking this. When I speak it or someone speaks it, generally it's just like, repeating something, but not much feeling. But if we remember how the gopis were experiencing when they were talking to each other, how Krishna was walking in the bank of the Jamuna, then we will remember the gopis, and if we remember their feelings, then we can actually experience something actually very transcendental. And then if we can remember how Prabhupada was writing in the Krishna book what he was feeling when he was feeling the gopis' feelings about Krishna and the ducks, the cranes, the swans, and Krishna and the bumblebees, what they were feeling, then there is an unlimited wealth of transcendental consciousness, Krishna consciousness. That's Krishna consciousness. Not something boring and, we just read and we go through, had no effect on our heart. It's just, or maybe it has some effect, but not so noticeable that we become thinking, wow, this is fantastic. Let me hear this again. Let me not forget it. Let me realize it more and more. We have that with prasadam. We have our favorite prasadam. Someone likes pizza, prasadam. And therefore, when it's time for pizza prasadam, they rush in great enthusiasm to relish the taste of pizza. That's good. Prabhupada said the Mayavadis, they'll speculate day and night, but we'll eat our way back to Godhead. But even better than that is to have your transcendental taste where we can take it wherever we go. And ever more relishable. And even if there's pizza in the spiritual world, we'll even enjoy pizza better there than here. Or at least we'll be able to enjoy transcendental pizza here. If we become the more conscious of Krishna we become, even the pizza will taste better. So to remember here, Mother Jasoda or Kunti Devi praying to Krishna. So Krishna is there. She's offering the prayers. She's in ecstasy. But what is she praising? She's praising Mother Jasoda's relationship with Krishna. Thinking how now she's offering prayers to Krishna, but Mother Jasoda, her service is so much more enjoyable to Krishna, and she wants Krishna to be happy. Because the happier her whole life, including Kunti Devi, is to make Krishna happy. Because Krishna has such wonderful qualities, he's so loving and affectionate, that anyone who comes in contact with him simply wants to make him happy, and here we learn how to make Krishna happy, is by praising his devotees. That's one service we can do to make Krishna happier than we can do anything we can do to make him happy. Of course, we serve unto his devotees too, and that makes him happy. If someone directly thinks they have a relation with Krishna and doesn't serve unto Krishna's devotees, then Krishna is not so pleased. Krishna is pleased when we please his devotees, when we serve underneath them, and when we remember here the superior devotees. Mother Jasoda is the most superior out of all the devotees in parental love, and therefore remembering her, tying up Krishna with unalloyed devotion, thinking that he's just a little child, Krishna is overwhelmed to the extent that he's actually thinking he's a little child. He doesn't think I'm the Supreme Lord and that I'm being tied by Mother Jasoda and I'm putting on an act as if I'm a baby. No, he's actually feeling he's a baby. He's completely absorbed. The tears are not artificial. The fear he experiences is not something just put on. I'm just going to pretend I'm afraid, I'm going to cry, make Mother Jasoda feel. No, he's actually experiencing that ecstasy of transcendental fear of his mother. He's experiencing the ecstasy of crying in front of his mother, and the affection that his mother experiences trying to bind him. And Kunti Devi is relishing that while she's offering prayers in her own service. So we remember that. We see Kunti Devi in her feeling. Of course, she's a great devotee also. She's one of the devotees in parental affection, one of the topmost devotees, an eternal associate of Krishna. So we can also experience her feelings of humility and of appreciating Mother Jasoda. And we learn how to appreciate Mother Jasoda also. Even Srimati Radharani appreciates Mother Jasoda, the topmost devotee. There's only appreciation. And we learn from the devotees how to do it, and therefore meditate on these pastimes of Mother Jasoda, which sometime shortly we'll have Damodarastika prayers again. But if we remember that mood of Srimati Kunti Devi, of appreciating this pastime of Mother Jasoda with Krishna, then we'll relish it even more than if we just simply try to enter directly into the pastime without an appreciation of the devotees who actually have more appreciation than we have for the pastime. And how Krishna is so much more pleased by that there's no limit to with his unlimited devotees Krishna has, there's no limit to the unlimited appreciation that's possible. Therefore, even in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, it says that their pastimes can't go on as nicely as they do without the appreciation and the service of their servants, of which everyone is actually part of that service. The manjaris and the other gopis, they all add to the ecstasy and the appreciation and the love that Krishna and Srimati Radharani experienced in their pastimes, and that's what this movement is supposed to teach us. Of course, it's good if we learn how to chew our food and relish prasadam. That's also good. I chant Hare Krishna and try to feel Krishna's presence. But even more than that is this mood of transcendental appreciation for the other devotees, and therefore get free from our envy, which is a primary reason why we're in the material world in the first place. We don't appreciate anyone, well, we may appreciate so many people, but all self-centered, how it's going to make me great. But only when we realize the unlimited great and how great the devotees are, that we can actually give up our false ego and learn what real appreciation, and therefore what real humility is. And with humility comes love also. Otherwise we're just stuck in this, I'm the center. And others are there, but anyhow, no one's as great as me. So I'll stop there. Thank you. Any questions or comments? So it's a good meditation. As soon as we see a devotee, or see the devotee, talk to the devotee, hear about a devotee, see if we can actually appreciate the devotee. And if the first thing to do is criticism comes to our mind, then that's all right. What to do? We're conditioned souls. But just ignore it, realizing what is the value in my own personal development. Try to think of something positive. Now, in our dealings with the devotees, we may be a little cautious, so that we don't get into trouble. We know how to not touch the wrong button so we get an explosion. But at the same time, try to find something positive to say, positive to think about, positive to do for the devotee. So the relationship is developed and it becomes more affectionate, loving. And that's what we're here for. Not to get the biggest score on Sankirtan, love me. Or to chant, I'm an angel, I'm chanting, everyone should fall in love with me. No, it's actually to chant in such a way as out of learning how to appreciate Krishna by learning how to serve Krishna and his devotees better, by appreciating how they're doing it, that pleases Krishna. Then our Krishna consciousness will actually develop. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to make any advancement, appreciating how wonderful we are already. Anything? Questions? Okay. Kala Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande.